ground and really putting pressure on these teams that are ahead of them. And of course, there's a big rock pile right around that 500 mark of teams that are technically still in it. But, at this time of year, kind of like the opposite of what the Marlins have done over the course of the last 2 weeks, dropping whatever it was, 10, 11, 12 in a row. You haven't been able to pick up ground when you're, winning two and then losing one and then losing two and then winning one and essentially playing 500 baseball. So this is going to be an important road trip. 8 games, 2 4-game series against division opponents. And then you come back home for a quick 3 and then 3 back on the road. So gotta do something to get things rolling, or else they're going to have an uphill battle going into the middle of August.
And while they have not been nearly as good as I think as they would like to be at home, they've been impressive on the road.
Yeah, and that's another interesting thing. You talk about when you come into the season, it's like take care of business at home, win 2 of 3, go 4-2 in 6-game homestands, and then find a way to tread water and go 500 on the road. That hasn't necessarily been the case with this 2026 Pirates. So they are getting healthy. We got news of O'Neill Cruz starting baseball activity. We're hoping Spencer Horowitz those concussion symptoms, hopefully they aren't as bad as what they could potentially be, at least in the short term. And even a guy like Evan Siska, an extra left-handed arm in those middle innings, sounds like he's heading toward finding his way back on a major league mound sometime soon. So there are reinforcements coming, but especially as it refers to facing left-handed starters, the lineup is just much more set up for right-handed pitchers, especially when you don't have the speed and the right-handed bat of Connor Griffin and a guy in O'Neill Cruz who has fared very well this season when he was healthy against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, I think that's been rough. I think they have felt the Griffin injury even more so than the Cruz injury because of Valdez. Valdez kind of supplied the power they needed when they needed it, but I think Griffin's missed both defensively and certainly the speed on the base pass. He's missed a whole lot.
I would agree, and both of those guys, especially Griffin, really lengthened this Pirates lineup. And when you got somewhat more middle of the order guys hitting 6-7, as opposed to maybe your 5th infielder, or your 4th outfielder, and that's no disrespect to anybody on the roster, it just makes life a little bit more difficult for the opposing pitching staff. So, I would wholeheartedly agree that the absence of Connor Griffin has been the biggest thing over the course of these last 3 weeks.
Well, Neil, as always, appreciate the time. You headed to Cincy?
I'm not headed to Cincy. I'll have the next homestand and short little road trip next week, so you'll hear me then.
Look forward to it, my friend. You take care of yourself.
Okay, Paul. Have a great afternoon.
All right, thanks. Neil Walker, the great Pittsburgh kid. Always like to get caught up with him. Okay, we're going to get caught up with some of our sponsors, and then we're going to get back and break this one down. Unfortunately for us, not a whole lot. You get shut out 3-0. Not a whole lot to dig deep into. A lot of folks want to always find, someone to blame. Why not just give credit to Eduardo Rodriguez, who showed the art of pitching is still alive and well. Hits around 92 on the gun. Only struck out 2. We're so obsessed with, triple digits and how many strikeouts per 9. This guy has 10 wins, and he shut out your ball club today. That's called pitching. All right, we'll be back on the Og, Murphy, and Prokowski reaction show right after this on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
After an accident, you need an injury attorney who fights for you. Og, Murphy, and Prokowski are ready to take on the insurance companies and win you the compensation you deserve. Call 412-391-FIRM. Og, Murphy, Prokowski, the firm. We're all in.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear. It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Shopping for replacement windows? Metropolitan Window Company elevates your shopping experience.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you'll experience personalized knowledge, expertise, and professionalism from our first visit to your home until our craftsmen complete your installation.
We're the window company that people want in their homes, and our exclusive Infinity by Marvin 100% fiberglass windows are the windows people love.
They're built for life. They are the strongest, longest-lasting windows you can buy.
And we have a great selection of colors and finishes. Experience Metropolitan Window Company. Stop by our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Lockridge, and I'm the host of a new podcast from Odyssey called Family Lore. In this podcast, I'm going to have people on to tell unusual and sometimes far-fetched stories about their families.
I've heard my whole life that she invented the margarita.
And then, we're going to investigate those stories and find out how much of it is true.
He gets a patent 1 month before the Wright brothers. Oh my God.
Please follow and listen to Family Lore, an Odyssey podcast, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
Family-owned D'Amelio's Heating and Cooling in Greensburg is now offering an incredible 0% financing for 72 months on any Carrier furnace, air conditioning, or both. Yes, that's right. 0 interest on any AC unit or furnace. D'Amelio's is also offering rebates on qualified equipment. D'Amelio's Heating and Cooling Greensburg, a Carrier factory authorized dealer. Call now 724-838-9360.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call.
You're listening to the Og Murphy and Prokowski Fan Reaction Show on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, welcome back. Neil's Walker, by the way, his segment sponsored by Veteran Basement Waterproofing. State your case, presented by Hampton Beer Outlet. Keep cool with Surfside variety packs, assorted flavors, 12-pack cans now just $29.99. I'm going to state my case. Play better at home, buckos. Put yourself in a bit of a bad situation here. Now just one game above 500, a couple games out of the wild card now. This was a time to make some hay, but the one thing I mentioned to Neil, every time you thought this team was really spiraling and headed in the wrong direction, they usually find a way to get themselves back. Electric player of the game, Pellman Electric, cutting-edge electrical contractors covering the tri-state. The one good thing that happened today, Nick Gonzalez extended his career-best hitting streak to 13. That was a leadoff single. And that was about as good as it got for the Bucks, unfortunately. Easy stat of the game, a cool stat from the game, brought to you by Easy Home Exteriors. Not many good things from the Pirates side of things. However, I think it was a good lesson to be learned that pitching is not triple digits and strikeouts. It's deep into a game, keeping hitters at bay, and throwing a freaking shutout is exactly what Eduardo Rodriguez did today. For the second time, he had a 2-hit, 7-inning stint with no runs allowed. The last time he faced the Pirates, and again, he has that gift of throwing the ball with his left hand, and that is kryptonite to your Pittsburgh Pirates. Play of the game. Why don't we go ahead and rev that one up, Logan? It was in the 4th inning. Our man Jared Jones was moving right along. He had a base runner allowed in that 4th inning. And then all of a sudden, it was 2-0 after this pitch.
The 0-1 now to Moreno. It's a fly ball plenty deep towards center field. Back toward the wall, and it is gone. Gabriel Moreno on an 0-1 pitch. Hits a 2-run homer, his 8th. 2-0 Arizona.
Yeah, that was tough. Carroll had led off with a double. Perdomo flied out, and then Moreno hit that home run right there. Play of the game brought to you by Sir Grout, your local tile, grout, and stone restoration specialist. Who's hot and who's cold right now? The Pirates offense. Can't call them cold after what they did last night in that comeback, but, man, they're cold against left-handed pitching. They're colder than cold against left-handed pitching. D'Amelio's HVAC in Greensburg, your comfort is their business. Unfortunately, the Pirates against left-handers, that's what's really, really cold. What's hot? Pirates against right-handers, they get 3 of 4 in Cincinnati, and that's some good news. We'll be back with more of the Og Murphy and Prokowski reaction show right after this on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
Hey, it's Pony back to talk about my guys from Comer and Cross. If your garage floor is cracked and stained, you already know that it's making your entire garage look bad, and a bad epoxy job makes it look worse. With one easy call to Comer and Cross, 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. You can get a quick estimate for a gleaming new Comer and Cross garage floor that you will love, just like I love mine. The Comer and Cross garage floor, gold standard. It is guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. In just one day, Comer and Cross will fix all your cracks and pits perfectly. They'll apply the gleaming new Comer and Cross concrete floor you choose. They'll even move your stuff out of the garage for you. Several realtors now say a Comer and Cross garage floor can increase your home's value by up to 10%. With over 2,000 five-star reviews and 50% off installation right now, what are you waiting for? Call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR right now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or schedule us at COMERCross.com.
Workdays work better with food. And not just any food, the good stuff. That's why there's Easy Cater, the workplace food platform where you can order from a huge variety of great restaurants for any group size, anytime, anywhere, all in one place. Whether it's gourmet deli trays for the client meeting, spicy noodles for the night shift, tacos for the weekend crew, or a big box of brownies to tell your team, thank you. Just use Easy Cater. One platform to feed them all, and feed them well. Start an order at easycater.com.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Kick off the school year with Kohl's Friends and Family Sale. Because with 20% off styles kids love, they're not just going back, they're making an entrance. Save on jeans that turn hallways into runways. Tees that make them walk a little slower, for effect. Sneakers that say, I'm so back. And more confidence-inspiring looks for every grade at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles, 20% offer ends August 2nd. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we know you're no stranger to setting big goals, whether in school, at work, or in life, and you're ready for more. At UMGC, we offer the skills-based education you need to move your career forward. Learn how to apply AI, data science, and other emerging tech, plus gain skills in leadership and critical thinking. You've come far. Succeed again. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
When disaster strikes your home or business, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration of Pittsburgh is ready to help. Our certified team handles everything from emergency cleanup to full reconstruction, working directly with your insurance to make the process simple. Available 24/7, we respond fast and restore your property with care, honesty, and experience you can trust. Visit panhandlecr.com. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, restoring Pittsburgh's peace of mind.
Buy one window, get a free unicorn. Just kidding. Are you tired of dishonest offers? I'm Brian Murphy, owner of Easy Home Exteriors, and we take your home seriously. If you need windows, roofing, siding, or doors, we'll give you fair, honest pricing the first time, every time. No pressure, no gimmicks. We'll give you a free estimate. You don't even need to be home. Call 412-678-7008. That's 412-678-7008. If you're lucky, we'll throw in a unicorn.
Now back to the Og Murphy and Prokowski Fan Reaction Show on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Welcome back. Bucks lose 3-0. They win 2 of 6 in the homestand, and they lose 2 out of 3 against Diamondbacks. Final score 3-0. Eduardo Rodriguez was brilliant. He goes 8 innings, allows 5 hits, no runs, strikes out 2, walks 1. Meanwhile, Jared Jones, 6 innings, gives up 4 hits, 3 runs, 5 strikeouts, and 2 bases on balls in 77 pitches. Rodriguez got up over the century mark in pitches tossed, but more importantly, he got his team the victory. Insurance run of the game, we didn't have one of those, but had we had one, NGM Insurance, NGM, no jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Protecting the lead, none to have, none to protect, but had there been, it would have been Guardian Protection, your hometown security company. Off to Cincinnati, as we talked about, a 4-game series, and then another 4-game series on the road, back for 3, and then back out on the road again. So they're going to have to become road warriors to stay in this thing. As far as tomorrow's game, it'll be over on the Fan, but we'd like to tell you that a lot of those elements will be sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors, PellaPittsburgh.com. We're going to put a bow on this thing when we come back and turn it over to the Colin Dunlap Show. Rob Taylor here with the 3:30 news. That's what we're working toward now. But the Pirates come up on the short end, 3-0 your final, off to Cincinnati tomorrow. We'll be back right after this.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
The Pittsburgh Speaker Series at Heinz Hall, presented by University of Pittsburgh, announces its 26-27 season. 7 events to challenge your mind, enlarge your world, and make you laugh. With Anderson Cooper, former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, historian Anne Applebaum, financial journalist Andrew Ross Sorkin, and the former U.S. Ambassador to China, Nicholas Burns. The series is sponsored by News Radio KDKA and the Spanos Group of Raymond James. Tickets on sale now at pittsburghspeakers.org.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from Big Wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Sir Grout Pittsburgh specializes in hard surface restoration. Whether it's tile or grout cleaning and sealing or natural stone restoration, Sir Grout will transform and renew floors, kitchens, foyers, mudrooms, bathroom showers, and countertops. They can restore the beauty and luster of natural stone with polishing and preventative stain sealant processes. Sir Grout trained technicians can even change the grout color to update the area's look and style. Call 412-960-6310 now to book your appointment.
Now more of the Og Murphy and Prokowski Fan Reaction Show on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Welcome back. It is the Og Murphy and Prokowski Reaction Show, presented by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Og Murphy and Prokowski, we're all in. Kind of a rough one for the Pirates, and I don't know what kind of an effect. You can only understand how things make you feel, and you try to project and understand how others may feel as well. But I think after a game like last night, when you really, much like the majority of this game, the Pirates did not have much of a pulse in terms of their offense, in terms of, handling Diamondback pitching. And then all of a sudden, trailing 6-0 in the 8th inning, they come alive. And I thought maybe, they had a lot more to get in that 8th inning. They only put up a 3 spot, but my goodness, it brought the ballpark back. It brought the fans back. It brought, I would imagine, their own will of, hey, we're not done yet kind of feeling back. And then they tie it in the 9th inning, and they had so many chances. They get the very impressive double play to get out of one of the extra frames, and then somehow, some way, as this team has done more often than any of us would care to admit or care to really talk about very much, is they have allowed defeat to be stolen out of the clutches of victory many, many times in this season. And they do sit one game above 500, which a lot of us, I think, that have been around it as long as a lot of us have. When Steeler training camp opens, which it has, and we still have relevant baseball, we still have meaningful baseball. We should have meaningful baseball into August and hopefully into September. If this team finds yet another way to come back and get back in this thing or stay in this thing, we would have probably signed up for it at the beginning of the year. They came off a pretty rough year last year. While they did go out and get some bats, we did not know. If those people out there that, were predicting that the Pirates would have one of the most dynamic offenses in all of baseball this year, you're a lot smarter than me. And I'll give you all the credit in the world because I thought they would be improved. But they were one of the worst offensive teams in all of baseball last year, and they went from one of the worst to one of the best. But unfortunately, periods of time, the starting pitching has been, a little rough. Even Paul Skeens had a rough patch. Mitch Keller had a very rough patch, and the bullpen has had an entire rough patch. But here they are. One game over 500, just a couple of games out of the third wild card spot. 4 games coming up in Cincinnati with 3 of the 4 against right-handed pitching. So, while this particular 6-game homestand at 2-4 was a little rough, losing a game that you brought yourself back from the dead in the 9th inning to be in it, that was a tough one. But as I told Neil, we had Neil Walker on right after the game ended. Every time you think it's really heading in a bad direction, this team somehow, some way, has pulled itself back into it. So that's where those of you that just kill Don Kelly with every strategic move that he makes or doesn't make, there's something good going on in that clubhouse because they don't quit on themselves. They believe in themselves. They play hard. And they don't play as well as any of us would like sometimes, but, man, they don't give up. Logan, great job today. Thanks so much for your help today. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy our day game coverage on KDKA, the first commercial radio station in the entire country. And, yes, we invented baseball on the radio back in the day, and it's a thrill to bring it to you. So we certainly enjoy that. It is off to Cincinnati for 4 games starting tomorrow. I'd like to get you prepped for the pitching matchup, but right now the Pirates are TBA, and I don't have any stats on TBA. So enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. It'll be Rob Taylor at the bottom of the hour with the news, and then you get a nice chunk of Colin Dunlap. Enjoy. Take care.
Kick off the school year with Kohl's Friends and Family Sale. Because with 20% off styles kids love, they're not just going back, they're making an entrance. Save on jeans that turn hallways into runways. Tees that make them walk a little slower, for effect. Sneakers that say, I'm so back. And more confidence-inspiring looks for every grade at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles 20% offer ends August 2nd. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we know you're no stranger to setting big goals, whether in school, at work, or in life, and you're ready for more. At UMGC, we offer the skills-based education you need to move your career forward. Learn how to apply AI, data science, and other emerging tech, plus gain skills in leadership and critical thinking. You've come far. Succeed again. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Catastrophic injuries bring emotional strain, physical pain, and financial stress. You don't have to face it alone. Ogg, Murphy, and Perkoski will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call 412-391-FIRM today. Ogg, Murphy, Perkoski, the firm. We're all in.
This Odyssey Sports broadcast has been brought to you by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico.
As parents, we have a million things running through our minds. Playdates, checkups, groceries, laundry, diapers, work, carpool schedules, picture day, swim team, did we mention diapers, birthday parties, meal prep, lost permission slips, dentist appointments, and the dog that still needs to be walked. So it's easy to make a mistake. Oh, I forgot birthday candles. Sit tight, hon, I'll be right back. We say we'd never put our kids in danger by leaving them in the car alone. Oh, wait, since when are candles not on the baking aisle? But never happens. And temperatures as low as 60 degrees can be deadly for children left behind. So always bring them with you, and every time you park the car, stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 78 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 3:30. I'm Rob Taylor. A Pleasant Hills woman is under arrest, charged with 5 counts of child pornography. According to a criminal complaint, police say they were alerted to possible child pornography being shared from the social messaging app Kik. An investigation into Lauren Chakowski found that, according to police, she had more than 40 images of child pornography on her cell phone. Police say Chakowski also had viewed video of child porn on her phone. Chakowski denied ever purposely searching for or sending explicit material involving children, suggested she may have been hacked. Chakowski posted a $5,000 bond and has a preliminary hearing scheduled for August 5th. The first of 4 outdoor terraces opened today at Pittsburgh International Airport. As we hear from News Radio KDKA's Paul Rasmussen.
The UPMC Terrace is located on the arrivals level next to baggage claims 5 through 8. Airport Authority spokesperson Bob Kurlick says the terrace includes native trees and plants and walking trails.
And just to give you a sense of how big it is, it's 36,000 square feet, so it is very large. And so when you're out there, I'm looking at my fact sheet right now, 36,000 square feet, 41 total plant species, 23 of which are native.
Kurlick says the terrace offers all travelers and visitors open-air relaxation, seating, and a view of airport operations without the need for membership fees or a security clearance. Paul Rasmussen, News Radio KDKA.
On Wall Street, the Dow not having a good day. They're down 900 points. NASDAQ's down 142. The S&P down 54 points. KDK Radio News Time, it's 3:32. Next update's at 4. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh, News Radio KDKA.
As parents, we have a million things running through our minds. Playdates, checkups, groceries, laundry, diapers, work, carpool schedules, picture day, swim team, did we mention diapers, birthday parties, meal prep, lost permission slips, dentist appointments, and the dog that still needs to be walked. So it's easy to make a mistake. Oh, I forgot birthday candles. Sit tight, hon, I'll be right back. We say we'd never put our kids in danger by leaving them in the car alone. Oh, wait, since when are candles not on the baking aisle? But never happens. And temperatures as low as 60 degrees can be deadly for children left behind. So always bring them with you, and every time you park the car, stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Colin Dunlap takes the show on the road in support of the Wiener 100 race at EQT Park. As part of the Bark in the Park night on August 4th before the Wild Things game. 7 races, 7 dogs, and KDKA Radio. Find out if your wiener dog is eligible to race by clicking on the events page at KDKA-radio.com. Hot dogs, baseball, the Wiener 100 race, and Colin Dunlap. Only on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, here we go. Let's kick it off with traffic. PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDKA AAA Traffic. It's all powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
All right, thanks, Colin. Traffic is building across the Pittsburgh Metro with the heaviest delays centered around downtown. The biggest slowdown, though, is on the Parkway West, where inbound traffic is backed up approaching the Fort Pitt Tunnel and remains slow across the Fort Pitt Bridge. On the Parkway East, it's seeing slow delays through westbound traffic from Greenfield through South Oakland into downtown, while Route 51 is slowing northbound through the Liberty Tunnel and onto the Liberty Bridge. Drivers on I-279 and Route 28 will find mostly moderate traffic approaching the North Shore, and Route 65 is moving well with only minor slowdowns near the West End Circle. So plan for a little bit of extra travel time if you're heading towards downtown this afternoon, especially on the Parkway West and through the Liberty Tunnel. With AAA Traffic, I'm Logan R. Blaster on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's a match made in heaven. Your drive home and Colin Dunlap. Only on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, happy Wednesday. A little bit late start. That's okay. Abbreviated show. That's all right as well. We'll get through it and we'll jam-pack it in. NASCO Roofing, instant access to all our shows. Just click away. Email us, instantacesskdkradio.com. Biggest news of the day is I've got an early morning appointment tomorrow to maybe figure out this sciatica situation. Man, it's weird. It comes on. I got hit by like a lightning bolt about 15 minutes ago walking down the hallway. I don't know. It needs to go for good, though. A lightning bolt right in my calf. It was wild. Anyhows, listen for the Drive at 5. That's coming up in short order. Stories driving the news every single day at 5, brought to you by ServiceMaster Greater Pittsburgh. Demand the yellow van. Actually, the biggest news of the day is this Fauci stuff. So he appeared before the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee today after being subpoenaed by Rand Paul, who has led several investigations into Fauci's handling of the pandemic and the National Institutes for Health and all the funding and the virus research in China. All right. Now, Fauci has testified more than 200 times at various different things over 4 decades. But if you tuned in today, I can give you a summation of what he said.
Under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions.
Okay. All right. And that was like over 100 times. So I want it to be a pretty heavy caller show today. Not always do I do this. Most of the time I don't. How did you think Fauci acquitted himself? At 866-391-1020. I know how I feel, and I'm going to tell you. But how do you think Fauci acquitted himself? And do you think he's still the great American that he was made out to be? Now, what's going to happen and what's already happened is we are a society, we are a nation that is all tribal all the time. I'm on this team with this certain color, red. I'm on this team with this certain color, blue. So he's either great or the biggest bum in the world. But see, I can take it piece by piece and situation by situation. Just because you want Dr. Fauci to answer, and I do, that doesn't mean you support Rand Paul or subscribe to some zany ideals of RFK Jr. And it certainly doesn't mean that you wear a red baseball cap everywhere. Maybe you just want Dr. Fauci to answer about what happened because it impacted all of us. That's the way I feel about it. But what happens and what gets lost in what happens today is we label people and tribalize them. Wait, you're asking hard questions of Fauci? What about Trump? What about Trump? What about Trump? Or the other way. And it just gets lost in what really the meat is. The meat's simple for me. No matter what side you're on, no matter who you vote for, no matter who you pull for, no matter who you love or you hate, these two things have to appear as conflicting, as divergent, as not making any sense. And here are the two things. Fauci jumped in front of every single camera that existed and wanted to talk to everyone about his role in helping save people from COVID-19. He wrapped himself in the American flag, and he made himself a conquering hero. That's number one. And the confliction is this. When it came time to answer some questions about all that today, he took the fifth. Time and time and time and time. Well, again.
Under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions.
Yeah. So several Republican lawmakers, and I don't know how you blame them, viewed Fauci's refusal to answer questions as an admission of guilt and claimed he didn't need to invoke the Fifth Amendment because of the pardon granted by former President Joe Biden over concerns he'd be targeted by potentially vindictive prosecution by the Trump administration. Some will now legally challenge that he's even able to invoke the Fifth Amendment after he's been pardoned. And we're going to get into another rigmarole about law. But lost in all of this, I think, is a matter of dignity. I think is a matter of saving face. And some people will throw it the other way. But I'll go here with it. I just will. If somebody asks me point blank questions about if I destroyed emails, if somebody asks me point blank questions about millions of Americans dying and people's grandparents' funerals not being able to be attended because we weren't allowed to go outside or this or that, and I was the man that they had in their crosshairs who they thought was responsible for all of this, I get what an attorney's saying to me. I understand it. But it's the same exact thing that I've said about all the Epstein files. If you ain't guilty, tell me. And it's the same thing with Fauci. He was asked point blank, and it's the one thing, I think, the one thing that kind of rings the most true, and it's probably innocuous to most people in all this. He was asked about emails. And if he sent any from his personal account, and if he destroyed any. And he used that stalk line. Well, you know the one.
Under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions.
He didn't need to apply that to every single question today. He could have used that a la carte. Getting back to it, if somebody asked me if I destroyed emails and I didn't, and it was a matter of me being able to walk around in this country again in good faith, and I never destroyed an email, I'd look them dead in the face and say, no. No. This was absolutely the most polar opposite moment of testifying from Jimmy Hoffa standing up there and telling them to screw off. For me, Fauci acquitted himself horribly, awfully. And is it right to consider someone guilty who pleads the fifth? No, it isn't. It's your constitutional right. And what he pretty much said, or at least tried to say, was, it's not my job to do your job. That's what happens when you plead the fifth. But this is a very unique case, one in which there's a lot of dead people, one in which he was to lead and guide Americans through someone or something, and one in which he's pointed at as the one guy, the one person who could answer a lot of questions in bipartisan form. Some will always label this a witch hunt all the time, and they'll say this and they'll say that. And what happens is it casts a shadow on everyone that's like me. I just want answers. And I think it's very fair and very frank and very honest to ask the one guy who most likely knows the most about Wuhan, well, about Wuhan. And I just wanted Fauci to come clean. And when he doesn't do that, someone like me is A-OK to have suspicions. 866-391-1020. That's 866-391-1020. Fauci, testimony today, or kind of testimony. What did you make of it? Let's talk. Coming up next, do you know someone in your community who has done something extraordinary in the past year? Nominate them right now. KDKRadio.com to be honored at this year's Larry's Hometown Heroes event. Traffic now. All right, PJ Fitzpatrick, Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDK AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
All right, thanks, Colin. Getting reports of an accident on the 1500 block of Douglas Street in McKeesport City, with several crews on the scene of the accident causing delays. Now taking a look at the major roadways, traffic is steadily building around Pittsburgh as the afternoon commute gets underway. The biggest delays remain on the Parkway West, where inbound traffic is slow approaching the Fort Pitt Tunnel and continues across the Fort Pitt Bridge into downtown. On the Parkway East, it's seeing increasing westbound congestion from Greenfield through South Oakland into the city, while Route 51 is slow northbound through the Liberty Tunnel and onto the Liberty Bridge. With AAA Traffic, I'm Logan R. Blaster on 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Listen to Colin Dunlap on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, contact NICB at reportinsurancefraud.org. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your morning. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richert, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
If you're thinking it, he's saying it. Colin Dunlap on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, here we go on a Wednesday. Suddenly got pretty dark outside. Wonder if it's going to rain later. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, 866-391-1020 is that number. So, look, there's people going to yell and scream on both sides. Polarize each side. Serve to politicize this even more. Can I just be kind of frank about it? There's a lot of people who died and suffered. And he was the genesis or general of this, of the reaction to COVID. The fact that he took the fifth, for me, it says a lot about him. Be square with the American people whose lives that you affected, or tell us that you weren't the one who affected them. It's not a comparison to anybody he was the doctor or in charge of or anything like that. You were in charge of everybody, no matter who they voted for, if they didn't vote for anyone. You led this country through that. It was a bipartisan job that you had. And by refusing to acknowledge, he wasn't saying no to RFK Jr., he wasn't saying no to Rand Paul, he wasn't saying no to this senator or that senator, whomever wanted to question him today. He was saying no, at least to me, is the way I look at it, to answers that the American people want. And what happens is, again, lost in all of this is a big conflation. If you try to take Fauci to task, you're all of a sudden seen as some MAGA Republican. You're seen as loving Rand Paul. You're seen as subscribing to whatever horse tranquilizer that RFK wants to put in his body and sniffing cocaine off some toilet seat. And that's just not true. The way I read it, the way I see it, a lot of level-headed Americans wanted a lot more than pleading the fifth. Marcia's in Ambridge. Hi, Marcia.
Hi, Colin. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for asking.
It's a pleasure to talk to you today. I listen to you all the time, and I agree with you 99.9% of the time, and I thank you for the stand that you take. Anthony Fauci doesn't have to say a word. His diary says it all for me. He doesn't have to say a word, and like one of the senators said, nothing says honesty and integrity like pleading the fifth. But I think his diary said it all. He was so taken with himself that he caused my cousin to die and many other people in this country to die because he loved the fame and everything else so much that he was willing to sacrifice people. I think he's a worm. I think the sheeple that followed him, Tom Wolfe, Rich Fitzgerald, Rachel Levine, Deborah, whatever her name is, all those people that stood beside him and just lapped up everything he had to say, shame. They're all culpable.
Yeah, Deborah Bogan, I believe was her name, in Allegheny County. And I agree, and I do think that there was a domino effect, there was a trickle down, there was a ripple in all of this. Let me ask you this, because this is the one dynamic that I think needs to be looked at deeper, sort of the second day story. Marcia, do you think that Fauci began with good intentions and a spotlight got him that captivated him and he liked it?
Absolutely not. I think this was contrived from the beginning. He knew everything that was going down, and then all of a sudden he got caught in his own limelight and devoured that. But no, I think he was a worm. I didn't trust him from the first day he appeared on the television to this day. Don't trust the word he says.
Yeah, the one thing that, and I thank you for your call. There's a lot of people that want to jump aboard, 866-391-1020. Now, the central issue in all of this is whether the coronavirus developed naturally or in a laboratory, and Rand Paul alleged that the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases funded dangerous gain-of-function research, I believe I have that right, in China that just got out of control and led to the creation of a virus that then led to a global pandemic. And that's where it was. And I think at the heart of it, more than Rand Paul want to know that. See, the problem is the messenger here. A lot of people think Rand Paul's a lunatic. So he can't be the guy to deliver that. If somebody who was a Democrat, for sure, then it would look different. Even if somebody wasn't giving the sense of a witch hunt, which is what many people will try to make this into, because Rand Paul has asked a lot of questions. And so what gets lost and conflated in this, or at least the argument from the other side, is this, that the messenger is dirty, he's got a personal vendetta, thus the questions are ones that are meaningless. And I find that to be odd. I just do. Anthony's in Oakland. Hi, Anthony.
Look, his attorney gave absolute great advice. They were trying to set him up to catch him in a lie because they federally they know he there's nothing they can do to him criminally. But he's not immune from civil charges. He's not immune from state charges. A state prosecutor that's Republican can go after him. So you give them nothing. It's like when you get arrested. Your attorney always tells you, don't talk. In this case, don't say anything. No, that was a set-up job. And Rand Paul, who's been after him for 6 years. So this one, he was grandstanding. Fauci's attorney did the right thing. If attorney would have told him even to answer the Democratic response was favorable to him, that would have opened Pandora's box. He did the right thing, and from now on, he should too. He shouldn't even make anything publicly to the press.
Well,
just keep your mouth shut.
You know what, though? You make a good point, but I'll say this. He has no integrity left, and he can't show his face in this country.
Well, in some circles he can, but in some other circles he can't.
He's 85 years old. I don't know how much road he has.
I don't have an axe to grind with the man. I honestly don't care, to be quite honest with you. Things happen.
I do care.
It was a crazy time.
I do care.
I don't
do you know
care.
why? I do care. I do care. Because people lapped it up. And schools were closed, and it caused my kids a development delay, I believe. And it was absurd. And I saw people's businesses go out. And I saw fat alcoholics be able to go to the beer and liquor store, but our workout facility was closed. And I saw people who owned places that were in a space that were health and fitness and things, and they went bankrupt. But state stores were open so that alcoholics could get their fix. I saw arrows on supermarket floors when at the time I was a 43-year-old, fit, still am, male who did everything right. And the number one comorbidity to all of that was being out of shape. But I had to stay home under the threat of arrest or somebody telling on me or this or that because people, in a way, unilaterally decided that that was what's best for me when they couldn't walk up the steps without being out of breath. So I do have a problem with it. And I have a problem with our kids never being able to catch up school-wise. I have a problem with kids missing their senior year. I have a problem with kids not playing a high school football season. I got a big problem with it. But that's just me personally. I want to talk to you. 866-391-1020 is that number. Let's hit traffic now. Or, excuse me, we'll hit news at the top of the hour and come right back right here, KDKA.
Now that I'm retired, I'm worried about making ends meet. Food, medicine, and rent cost more every day. And that's why I used benefitscheckup.org. It connected me to an extra $1,000 a month. Benefitscheckup.org is a free service from the National Council on Aging. In a few clicks, older adults like me can see if they might qualify for money-saving programs. If you're on a fixed income, benefitscheckup.org might help you too. For free, visit today.
Supported by the U.S. Administration for Community Living.
There's a world of opportunity out there, beyond the typical 9 to 5, where purpose and grit come together, where the American spirit and ingenuity are welcomed in places that could really use your skills and your experience. We're talking about the Peace Corps, with volunteers living and working in communities around the globe. And it's been called the toughest job you'll ever love. Tough, because it asks so much of you. To dig deeper, get your hands dirty, to go that extra mile, to rise to the occasion and meet challenges head on. And the love part comes from being part of something bigger than yourself, from building bonds that last a lifetime. It's knowing your hard work transformed lives, including your own. After 65 years, the Peace Corps is still the toughest job you'll ever love. Explore opportunities in more than 60 countries. Learn about benefits and apply at peacecorps.gov/serve.
Ms. Fernandez, what are those tiny things?
Those are what we call amoebas. You can only see them through a microscope.
Wow.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, there's a funding crisis in public schools. Millions of kids go to schools that don't have funding for books, computers, and so much more just because of where they live. You can help change that. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, help a music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future.
Who says vaping is safer than cigarettes? Science does not support that belief. Vapes can contain a variety of chemicals, flavoring agents, cancer-causing elements, and other harmful substances. High levels of nicotine in some vapes can be more likely to lead to addiction, and chemical ingredients are not always listed accurately on vaping packages. Vaping can also damage your DNA, your heart, your lungs, and even your smile. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 78 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 4 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A Pleasant Hills woman is under arrest charged with 5 counts of child pornography. According to a criminal complaint, police say they were alerted to possible child pornography being shared from the social messaging app Kik. An investigation into Lauren Chakowski of Pleasant Hills found that, according to police, she had more than 40 images of child pornography on her cell phone. Police said Chakowski also had viewed a video of child pornography on her phone. Chakowski denied ever purposely searching for or sending explicit material involving children and suggested she may have been hacked. Chakowski posted a $5,000 bond. She has a preliminary hearing scheduled for August 5th. Changes are coming to Medicare's prescription drug plan, but an independent insurance agent says seniors shouldn't panic. Here's News Radio KDKA's Tamira Rush.
The Trump administration is ending a federal subsidy program that helped keep some Medicare Part D prescription drug premiums lower. But Dina Schmid with One Health Benefits tells KDKA Radio consumers shouldn't panic over the change.
What was announced is the end of a temporary program that the government created to help health insurance companies, not the beneficiary, with the Part D premiums. So that ends. That has nothing to do with the consumer. Here's what's important. Extra help, also called LIS, low income subsidy, is not going away.
Schmidt says seniors should speak with an independent advisor before making any changes. She says people who qualify for extra help with prescription costs will continue receiving those benefits under current law. Tamira Rush, News Radio, KDKA.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, the retired public health official who became the face of the federal response to COVID, cited his constitutional right against self-incrimination today in refusing to answer questions posed by a GOP-controlled Senate panel. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy with the latest from Washington.
Given Senator Paul's obvious obsession,
Dr. Anthony Fauci said Committee Chair Rand Paul is bent on seeing him put behind bars, rather than answering questions about the origins of COVID and whether it might have stemmed from U.S.-backed research in China. Fauci declined.
Based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment,
Paul vowed repercussions.
It's against the law to obstruct an investigation of Congress.
When Fauci's attorney tried to speak,
Sir, you are not recognized.
Paul ordered him removed.
Security.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Good news for drivers and pedestrians who use the busy intersection connecting Liberty Avenue, Main Street, and the Bloomfield Bridge. City of Pittsburgh's been awarded a more than $1.3 million grant from the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission to make improvements to that intersection. That will cover about a third of the cost of the project. City also announced the $1 million grant from the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission, the SPC, to help pay for slope stabilization and trail restoration along the Three Rivers Heritage Trail. That's in Chateau. Well, a Cash 5 ticket was sold in Westmoreland County, and it hit the jackpot in Tuesday's drawing. Pennsylvania Lottery says the ticket matching all 5 balls is worth $620,000. Winner was sold at Sweet Peas convenience store on North Church Street in Mount Pleasant Township. On Wall Street at the close, the Dow closing down more than 1,100 points at 51,594. NASDAQ was down 433. S&P was down 112 points. KDK Radio News Time, it's 4:03. We've got KDK AAA traffic and the AccuWeather forecast next.
Pittsburgh's very own board-certified and licensed hypnotherapist Dan Vitchoff of the PA Hypnosis Center is here to help you. He has helped train U.S. Olympic team members control their brains, stay relaxed, focused, and in control, giving them the edge for the gold. He's recognized by many organizations around the world as one of the top hypnotherapists anywhere. He has gotten over 3,000 people to give up cigarettes for good in the last 22 years. He's helped folks even who've tried gastric bypass to lose weight. He can help you and give you a 98% success guarantee. Call 724-934-8446. That's Dan Vitchoff, the PA Hypnosis Center. Mention KDKA and get $50 off any program. But call for a free consultation today, 724-934-8446. The PA Hypnosis Center with Dan Vitchoff. Make that call today, 724-934-8446.
Your line just went down. Production stopped. A supervisor wants answers, and someone's digging through a binder for the maintenance history. Every one of those minutes costs money, and most of the time, that breakdown could have been prevented. That's where MaintainX comes in. MaintainX catches the failure before it happens. Preventive maintenance plans on every key asset to improve reliability. Work orders assigned and tracked right from your phone. Everyone from the floor to the front office is in the loop. Real-time dashboards give managers instant visibility into what's been completed, what's overdue, and where the bottlenecks are. No more guesswork. Just a smarter, faster maintenance operation. Companies on MaintainX have cut unplanned downtime by over 30% and save thousands on parts and labor every year. See what it can do for your operation. Try MaintainX free at maintainx.com.
All right, traffic time. PJ Fitzpatrick, Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDKA AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
Still getting reports of a traffic collision on the 1500 block of Douglas Street in McKeesport City, which is causing delays. Now taking a look at the major roadways at 405. The Parkway East outbound is heavily congested and crawling through Oakland with traffic jammed from Technology Drive towards the Squirrel Hill Tunnel. On the Parkway West outbound, it's stacked up past the County Jail into the 2nd Avenue stretch with delays building towards the Fort Pitt Bridge. And with AAA traffic, I'm Logan R. Blaster, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Intervals of clouds and sun the rest of today, and a bit on the breezy side, the high 77. It'll become mainly clear tonight, though 58. Lots of sunshine tomorrow, the high 82. More sun than clouds for Friday, the high 84. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
It's Colin Dunlap on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
By the way, as always, you can listen to us 100.1 FM, AM 1020, KDKA, and that Odyssey app, AUDACY. Check us all out. It's brought to you by Metropolitan Window Company. Use our YouTube page. That is fantastic. Here's the thing about Fauci pleading the fifth, is there are a lot of Americans who wanted the answers to what they viewed as innocuous questions, or even just questions that weren't life and death. I got tons of feedback today about this. Like one woman, she writes, I want answers and stuff that actually wasn't all that important to everyone. Like why one-way aisles to shop, and how did you settle on 6 feet as the safe distance to remain from one another? Why can't he answer stuff like that? And she then continues, but there was also the serious questions. If a loved one was dying within hours, what difference did it make to be in the room with them? Were they going to die harder? So think of that. Everybody takes it to where, oh, okay, you can't ask that question. But not everyone was life and death. And that's not political at all. That's the most apolitical thing going. People who can't differentiate that are incapable, to me, of an objective, original thought. The politics to this, on both sides, was applied because of the tribalism, because of the partisan politics that we play in this country. And what it does is it muddies the water for real, honest-to-goodness questions like that one that I just read, or the text line at 866-391-1020, like a text here from Jeff from South Fayette. Jeff texted during the break, and he writes, here we go. The so-called lockdowns kept me and my siblings from seeing our mother in a nursing home during her final hours. After she passed, they said, okay, come on in. We had to sit in the parking lot as my mom died. That still hurts. That's not me saying it. That's not me trying to push some sort of initiative or narrative or whatever. I don't know who Jeff votes for. I don't care who Jeff votes for. I don't care if he votes for no one. Or if he votes all one lever or all the other lever. That is the definition of a fair question and what the American people wanted to know. And whenever you take the fifth on everything, it gives the suspicion that you're hiding something. Whenever you refuse to hand over documents that aren't redacted, like Epstein, it gives the impression you're hiding something. I'll grab your calls in a minute, but why did Fauci take the fifth?
President Biden's preemptive pardon, in the words of the chairman of this panel, Rand Paul, who would be the one making any kind of criminal referral to the Justice Department, doesn't cover future actions. It only is retroactive from the date the pardon was issued. And Fauci seemed to acknowledge that as well. So what Fauci was saying in his opening statement there is he believes that Chairman Paul is bent on putting him, in Fauci's words, behind bars.
Okay, I don't know if that was the case today. And again, there were some innocuous questions or ones that weren't at the risk, if you answered them, of putting you in jail. Paul's in Robinson. Hi, Paul.
Hey, Colin. My brother-in-law, who's a pilot, a pretty smart guy, when COVID started, he figured he tried to invest some money on some of these pharmaceutical companies. Well, he did a little bit of research. Come to find out, Moderna, which is one of the pharmaceutical companies at the time, was ran by Fauci's son, and it was backed by Bill Gates. So the thing is, you need to follow the money.
All right, good call. Along with frequent criticisms of his decision to plead the fifth, like I said, Republicans claim and will claim that Fauci misled the public compared to what he was writing in his diary, and that his direction over lockdowns and other COVID precautions caused widespread harm to Americans. This was something that was heavy-handed and questioned from the beginning by a lot of people. And it was also something, here's the thing I think that resonates most. Whenever you make that decision, and it's such a heavy, big decision, locking schools down, telling people they got to stay home, doing this, doing that, and then putting it at the state level. And look, I think Tom Wolf should be the next guy to have to stand up there. Honestly. But whenever you take the leap to do that, and it's that momentous, that big, that earth-shattering, you better be right. You better be right. And I just don't know if he was. And one of the questions I go back to today with this, and I watched all of it today before I came in here, was when Rick Scott, and you don't have to like Rick Scott. That's the other thing. What will happen is the immediate defense mechanism will say, well, Rick Scott's a Republican. He's from Florida. look at Florida. That's a crazy place. Look at the Republicans. They're crazy. Forget about that. Just look at the question. He asked Fauci whether he told the truth in the 2024 testimony before Congress, including his relationship with that Dr. Morens fella, the former senior advisor of the NIH. Morens was indicted earlier this year on charges of skirting federal record-keeping laws and accused of concealing emails over the origins of the outbreak. So Scott asked him straight away, hey, what do you know about Morens? And naturally, you know what the answer was?
Under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions.
Right. You could have said, if you didn't have any relationship with that guy, I don't know the guy, I'm done with the guy, I haven't communicated with that guy in 20 years. So prosecutors, they're right in accusing Morens of working with scientists outside of the federal government to protect funding for virus research. And Fauci has tried to at least distance himself from Morens and told lawmakers in 2024, which is what Scott was trying to get out of him, that they didn't work together closely. Why didn't he just repeat that then? That's the problem I have. Nobody's saying he can't take the fifth. He sure can, and he sure did, 111 times or whatever it was today. But when Scott asked Fauci whether he'd used private email accounts to conduct his government business, whether he'd ever directed anyone else to destroy records related to congressional investigations, he again took the fifth. You have your dignity, or you have an answer that an attorney tells you to give. I know this, and you can make fun of me all you want, and I'll sit in jail if I have to. If I never destroyed records and I never lied, I'm not sitting up there and letting a whole country smash me. I'm looking those guys right in the face and I'm saying, no, I didn't. And I'm all right to have the suspicion until somebody does that, well, that there are a lot of questions. 866-391-1020. That's 866-391-1020. Lots of other stuff to get to. I do want your calls on Fauci all day. Did he acquit himself well? And also, what about Fetterman? We'll hear from him in just a little bit. Let's hit traffic right now. PJ Fitzpatrick, Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDKA AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
Traffic is stacked up pretty much everywhere right now. The Parkway East outbound is crawling and heavily delayed through Oakland, while the Parkway West outbound is at a standstill approaching the Fort Pitt Bridge. Route 28 is congested and slow-moving leaving the city. And with AAA traffic, I'm Logan R. Blaster on 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 20% and get financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
This report brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Hey, it's Brew, and I feel like everything in my life depends on being connected. Whether I'm uploading a video, hopping on a call before my show, or video chatting with my family back in Michigan, I never have to think about my Wi-Fi. And that's why Xfinity stands out. You get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, you can get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity, imagine that.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Federal Reserve policymakers today voted to leave benchmark interest rates unchanged, setting aside worries about a possible surprise rate hike. But that was no match for worries about the U.S. war against Iran, which saw renewed attacks overnight and sent oil prices surging higher, close to $85 a barrel. And boy, did that spook Wall Street. At the close, the Dow was down 1,153 points, a more than 2% decline. The Nasdaq down 434, 1.75% lower. The S&P down 1.5%. Losing 113 points. Now, after the bell, an earnings beat from Microsoft. That's thanks in large part to its Azure cloud computing unit. Those shares are higher in late trading. A very different story, though, at Meta Platforms. Those shares down as much as 9% in late trading. Its current quarter sales forecast is weaker than Wall Street expected to see. And Starbucks comp sales up 8% last quarter. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Reacting to the stories you're talking about. Colin Dunlap, 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Woo! Here we go. 866-391-1020 is that number. So, what did Fetterman have to say today? I thought he didn't ask any questions. He sort of gave a small dissertation of about a minute, which I'm going to play here in a second. And to me, he continues to be the lone Senate Democrat who has some self-introspection, I guess. I thought he played it right, where he raised questions, but he was fair in what he said. He didn't name call or anything like that. He just said, hey, we got some questions here, and I think it's more than fair what's going on. Fetterman.
It's not about much more your regrets, but I have one. And that is early on that there was the theory that the virus could have emerged from the lab. And early on that became like a right-wing kinds of theory. And I thought it seemed to make sense. Now, there was a really advanced lab that was close by, and then you have this unknown virus out. So... but that became a very partisan thing, and now it seems now it's more and more emerging theory that would have come from the lab. Now, I hope I think that the next time our nation's facing something like this, we are not become, as I might have been, blinded by the partisan idea that maybe the truth might come from a side that's different than you are. But I think we should really be willing to pursue truth, no matter where that may have emerged, for all of that.
You know what'll happen? People on the far left will call Fetterman a sellout. They'll say he's not a Democrat. That is the most bipartisan thing that maybe has ever been said in Washington, which is this. Translation to all that is, when we're elected or when we're appointed to a national position, or really even any position, we work for everyone. And I'm just trying to find out if you didn't try to get to the bottom of something because of allegiance to party. That's it. And next time something like this happens, God forbid it does, and hopefully it doesn't, can we just make sure to work together? That's like hitting the nail right on the head. But what will happen is, what's already happened, is the whole No Kings outfit will threaten Fetterman's life and call him this and call him that, when he's trying to get answers for everyone. Frank's in Castle Shannon. Hi, Frank.
Colin, good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me okay?
Certainly.
All right, great. Hey, I'm on my smartphone device here, quickly here on the Fauci thing, like everybody. I'm going to briefly tell you what I posted on Facebook, if that's okay. It'll be real quick.
Yeah.
Like 4 sentences. Okay, here's what I said. I am looking for comments from people who were deprived of visiting loved ones due to Mr. Fauci's horrendous, reckless, and completely incompetent handling of the COVID-19 virus pandemic. Sadly, my sister and I are two of those people. That stirred up some ire. I got 55 comments. Some were just ludicrous. I won't use the word ASSININE. I don't know if you can use that word. Just, you know what I mean? Just the people just make these stupid comments. But some were sincere about losing loved ones also. So in other words, commiserating, empathizing, whatever the word is. So the bottom line, there's pleading the Fifth Amendment. One of the senators or congressmen, one of the people on the questioning side of the table, I'm an armchair attorney, by the way, they said, Mr. Fauci, don't you feel it's like your responsibility to maybe owe these people an apology who might have lost a loved one, blah, blah, blah. And he obviously said the same thing. I wish to invoke my Fifth Amendment privilege, blah, 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 like we heard all throughout the thing. So I left and went to watch my friends play softball this afternoon.
Not a bad thing. You didn't miss much. That's for sure. But yeah, once he went down that road where he's going to plead the Fifth, he's going to plead it on every question. Then it became a charade. And it became a charade not because of the questions. It became a charade because of refusal of answers. And again, the people asking the questions, to me, they weren't doing it self-serving wise. Rand Paul may have been. But everybody else was doing it as a conduit of the voters and the people who lived in their district. 866-391-1020 is that number. Traffic now. PJ Fitzpatrick, Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDKA AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
All right, thanks, Colin. Taking a look at the major roadways at 425. This afternoon commute is picking up with the heaviest congestion on the Parkway West inbound, where traffic is slow approaching the Fort Pitt Tunnel and remains backed up across the Fort Pitt Bridge into downtown. On the Parkway East, it's also busy in both directions. Westbound delays begin near Squirrel Hill and continue through Greenfield into downtown, while eastbound traffic is slowing, leaving the city towards the Squirrel Hill Tunnel. Northbound Route 51 is congested through the Liberty Tunnel and onto the Liberty Bridge, and drivers on I-279 approaching the North Shore should expect moderate delays. Route 28 is moving well overall, with only minor slowdowns near the 31st Street Bridge. And with AAA traffic, I'm Logan R. Blaster on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Every time I've had CertaPro painters do work on my home, I really appreciate their professionalism. They make it worry-free, and it starts with a free estimate, all at the right price. And I love that each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. Hi, this is Larry Richard. It's the perfect time to reach out, get CertaPro painters to visit your home. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. You'll be so glad you did. Trust CertaPro Painters.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
There's a world of opportunity out there, beyond the typical 9 to 5, where purpose and grit come together, where the American spirit and ingenuity are welcomed in places that could really use your skills and your experience. We're talking about the Peace Corps. With volunteers living and working in communities around the globe. And it's been called the toughest job you'll ever love. Tough, because it asks so much of you. To dig deeper, get your hands dirty, to go that extra mile, to rise to the occasion and meet challenges head on. And the love part comes from being part of something bigger than yourself, from building bonds that last a lifetime. It's knowing your hard work transformed lives, including your own. After 65 years, the Peace Corps is still the toughest job you'll ever love. Explore opportunities in more than 60 countries. Learn about benefits and apply at peacecorps.gov/serve.
Being diagnosed with leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, or one of over 100 other types of blood cancer makes people want more time to do the things they love. We are Blood Cancer United. We do the most for more people with blood cancer. Join us at bloodcancerunited.org.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 78 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 4:30. I'm Rob Taylor. A teen who was 15 when police say he shot and killed a fellow Oliver Citywide Academy student learned his fate today. A judge today sentenced Jameer Perry, now 19 years old, to 35 years to life in prison for killing Derek Harris in May of 2023. Even though Perry pleaded guilty to first-degree murder, 35 years is the mandatory minimum sentence for first-degree murder committed as a juvenile. Oliver Citywide Academy on Pittsburgh's north side was a school for special needs students in grades 3 through 12. Pittsburgh Public School District has since closed the school. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the retired public health official who became the face of the federal response to COVID, cited his constitutional right against self-incrimination today in refusing to answer questions posed by a GOP-controlled Senate panel. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has more from Washington.
Given Senator Paul's obvious obsession,
Dr. Anthony Fauci said Committee Chair Rand Paul is bent on seeing him put behind bars, rather than answering questions about the origins of COVID and whether it might have stemmed from U.S.-backed research in China. Fauci declined.
Based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment,
Paul vowed repercussions.
It's against the law to obstruct an investigation of Congress.
When Fauci's attorney tried to speak,
Sir, you are not recognized.
Paul ordered him removed.
Security.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Pittsburgh International Airport today debuted its first outdoor terrace, officially called the UPMC Terrace. Director of Public Affairs Bob Kurlick telling the Big K Morning Show this latest addition to the new terminal is inspiring.
Because there's walking trails. We have over 40 species of plants that are out there. There's benches where people can enjoy food items. So it's really a great chance to get outdoors. Kids can walk around burn off some energy on the walking trails. Adults can sit down, relax. You can see the airfield from there. You can see planes taking off and landing.
And he says no security is required. That's because the terrace is positioned pre-security, meaning it's accessible to meters, greeters, airport employees, and the general public, not just ticketed passengers. On Wall Street today, the Dow closing really down, 1,153 points. NASDAQ was down 433, S&P down 112 points. KDK Sports brought to you by NASCO Roofing, Pittsburgh's trusted and passionate roofer. Call NASCO Roofing at 412-373-2000. Pirates dropped the final game of the series to the Arizona Diamondbacks earlier today, 3-0 the final. Pirates are on their way to Cincinnati for a 4-game series against the Reds starting tomorrow night. News brought to you by PJ Fitzpatrick with their famous lifetime warranty on materials and labor. Trust PJ.com. KDK Radio News Time, 4:32. Time to call One Health Benefits at 724-799-8873 for the best affordable health insurance plans tailored to your needs. KDK AAA traffic at the AccuWeather forecast next.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Do you spend half your day walking or standing while working? If you have foot, knee, or back problems, the Good Feet store wants to help you like we helped Tony.
The pain that I experience the most is foot pain from being on my feet all day. You're having to kind of talk to yourself through the whole shift, like, I got this, I can do this. Before, I felt defeated. Now it's like, all right, let's go. I'm ready. Like sunshine coming on.
And how about working more comfortably like Dennis?
Working at an amusement park, it's always on your feet. I just couldn't take it, but I didn't have a choice. I just couldn't believe that putting these arch supports in made that much of a difference that quickly. I could do my job and I could take care of my family. I know what my tomorrow's going to be. It's going to be positive.
You deserve a better life, too. Stop in the Good Feet store today. Visit us in Cranberry Township, in Robinson Town Center, in the Waterfront, in Morgantown at Suncrest Town Center, and at goodfeet.com.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
All right, traffic time. Here we are, PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDK AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
All right, thanks, Colin. Getting reports of a collision on the Fort Duquesne Bridge ramp in Pittsburgh that is causing delays with the crew on the scene of the accident. Now taking a look at the major roadways at 435. The Parkway East outbound is gridlocked through Oakland with traffic not moving well through Technology Drive through Bate Street. The Parkway West outbound is jammed near the county jail and into the Fort Pitt Bridge corridor with heavy congestion through downtown. And with AAA traffic, I'm Logan Arblaster on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
For the rest of today, intervals of clouds and sun and breezy at times, high 77, becoming mainly clear tonight, low 58. Mostly sunny and pleasant tomorrow, high 82. Friday, sunshine mixing with clouds and warm, high 84. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Hi, this is Larry Richard. Join us tomorrow on the Big K Morning Show, 5:30 until 10. Got our weekly visit with Dr. Mike, and we'll check in with Bill Hillgrove as the Steelers are in training camp in Latrobe.
All right, here we go. Drive at 5 coming your way, just 24 minutes or so. Stories driving the news every single day at 5, brought to you by ServiceMaster Greater Pittsburgh. Demand that yellow van. So, lots happening today. We'll talk a little bit more about Fauci. There's so much more happening. Oh, one thing is on hold. I'll tell you what that is. And I'm looking down at my notes here. Oh, one thing I'm ill-prepared for that has already started in full form today, and I'll tell you about that before the hour is out. Let's talk to Tony. He's in the car. Hi, Tony.
How you doing, Colin?
I'm
Thanks
good.
for taking the call.
Thank you for asking.
I myself have no issue with Fauci pleading the fifth on every question. I think his attorney, before he went in, said, if they ask you what your favorite ice cream is, you plead the fifth. I think, that was the game plan. And as far as how the government handled the COVID-19, the pandemic, I have very little issue with that, too. I think Fauci was in a hell of a situation.
The government has layers. Well, here's the thing, and I think this is probably what needs to be talked out. It's okay, just as for me, it's okay for you to not have any issues. And that's fine, and nobody's saying you needed to. But I think what becomes problematic, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but there are a lot of people or some people who didn't have issues that tell other people they're not allowed to have issues with how it was handled.
Well, I understand that. And what I really said, or I had very little issue. I mean, the mistakes that Fauci made or mistakes that our government made, remember, the whole world made those mistakes. It wasn't like Fauci. Yeah, absolutely. The whole world was handling this pandemic almost exactly the way the United States handled it.
Actually, you're not right about this. It varied from state to state, the recommendations that were handed down from state to state, and it varied what was triggered in by state to state in a lot of instances.
Certain things, but how they handled it in general, it was the same. Try to keep people away, try to keep people at a distance, try to keep people away from the hospitals. That's what I mean. And, of course, there was little nuances that were different state to state and country to country. But overall, Colin, the world was handling this issue basically the same way. I mean, anything negative we have to say about our government or Fauci on the way this was handled, we could say the whole world did it.
Yeah, but
I think what we had.
Here's the thing, and I guess this is what's problematic. And let me interject for a moment. Not all of these things are being said in 2026. Many of these things were being said at the time by plenty of people, Tony, and the people who were saying them were told they were lunatics or kooks or shut up or just play along. And there wasn't room for any discussion. And I think that is what became problematic.
I have to disagree with you. Maybe you had the people like that on Facebook or Twitter, but nobody from the federal government were calling people kooks. Now, maybe Trump, but outside of that, I didn't hear that.
Sir, we couldn't get emails back. People couldn't get emails back from their schools about when they were going to reopen or why it was different from school to school. You couldn't get emails back or couldn't get somebody to answer why it was okay if you lived in, say, Beaver Falls to travel all the way to Philadelphia, and there was one protocol, but if you traveled across state lines to Steubenville, it was a different protocol, when the mileage is much, much different, but because you were in the same Commonwealth, it was like COVID was going to understand the state border and stop. There were people that had very logical things that couldn't get any answers, as if, like, why basketball rims were taken off of the parks, taken out of the parks, and people couldn't go outside and play basketball, or golf courses were shut down. I'm not dreaming this up, Tony, and I'm not trying to be adversarial or argue with you, but this is proving my point, is that you're, at least to some degree, unwilling to understand that some people had questions in that moment, and those people were shouted down as shut up and get in line and put your mask on.
Well, you know what, Colin? A lot of the people that you're talking about that could answer the questions didn't know how to answer them.
Well, one man could have today.
I think, again, let's go back to the original statement where I started. I'm pretty sure his attorney said no matter what they ask you, you plead the fifth because we can't trust this administration, and we believe that if there's anything said that they can put you behind bars, they will.
Well,
I think that was part of the thought process.
Well, this is part of my thought process, and this is a good discussion. Then think of the amount of how many doctors were vilified or risked being vilified for even suggesting a different route or treatment than the stance that was handed down by people like Fauci.
No, that's not true, Colin.
Well, how is it not true?
I'll tell you why it's not true. There were think tanks all over the United States. The doctors of every different profession were allowed to voice their opinion, and they were evaluated and they were looked at. Nobody in Fauci's in the CDC ever looked at anybody's opinion like that and said you're an idiot or shut up. That's not true.
Some pediatrician in Allegheny County, a pediatrician who couldn't walk a mile, couldn't walk up the steps without losing their breath, told me and 30 other guys who are in optimal shape that we weren't allowed to go outside and run.
Colin, like I said earlier.
What? Can you explain the logic to that? And I know people who lost their businesses.
I'll tell you. I'll explain it to you. There were mistakes made. This was a pandemic like we've never seen before. A lot of mistakes were made. And as we keep uncovering the layers to this onion, we're going to find more. But all in all, Colin, I really believe that people like Fauci and people in that world across the globe were trying their best to do what they could do. There was nothing nefarious. There was nothing malicious behind it.
I don't think Tom Wolf was. I just don't. I don't think Governor Wolf was. I don't think he was trying to do the best that he could for everyone in this Commonwealth. I don't. I didn't think it at the time. I don't think it now. And I had a very unique view on all of this. Our family was in the masking game way before COVID because of what our daughter was afflicted with. And here was what my stock answer was and what it will be. It wasn't our job, and never would be our stance nor our job, to tell the rest of the world that they needed to stay home. If somebody was immunocompromised, it was their job to take their precaution. That's what happened when our daughter was in the depths of her cancer battle. I never stood outside or made a bunch of calls or put on social media, everybody needs to stay home so we could go outside. It was the only time in history that the healthy world was made to change their regular way of going about things. That isn't the way that the world should work. And it's just asking Fauci for some justification on that, I don't think is out of line. Again, what happens is people who bring up things like I just brought up and brought those up at the time were shouted down. Skate parks were filled in with sand. You couldn't go to the beach. Why? Well, don't ask. They're very honest conversations if you want to have them. 866-391-1020 is that number. Traffic now. PJ Fitzpatrick, Home Improvement Traffic Center. KDKA AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
All right, thanks, Colin. Getting reports of a traffic collision on the 200 block of Little Deer Creek Road in Indiana Township, with several crews on the scene of the accident causing delays. Now taking a look at the major roadways at 445, the biggest delays remain on the Parkway West inbound, where traffic is slow approaching the Fort Pitt Tunnel and continues across the Fort Pitt Bridge into downtown. On the Parkway East, it's seeing heavy congestion in both directions. Westbound traffic is backed up from the Greenfield